Most people talk about success as if it is a mystery. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect conditions before they act. But let me tell you, perfection does not exist. If you wait for everything to be just right, you will spend your whole life waiting. Napoleon Hill said, "Do not wait, the time will never be just right. Start where you stand, and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. Every day you delay is another day you waste." The greatest enemy you will ever face is not failure, not rejection. It is inaction. You can recover from mistakes, you can learn from setbacks, but you can never regain the time you've lost to hesitation. Success is not an accident. It's not luck. It's not fate. It's the result of a deliberate choice to act every single day. Action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can visualize your future, write down your goals, repeat affirmations every morning, but unless you move, nothing changes. The people you admire, the ones who built empires, who transformed their lives from nothing, they weren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. But they acted when others stood still. They took the leap when others doubted. They understood that the path to success is paved by action, not intention. Push yourself when it's uncomfortable. Push yourself when it's inconvenient. Push yourself when no one else is watching. Discipline is built in the moments when you least feel like moving forward. You may not see immediate results, but understand this. Every small, consistent action compounds over time. The mind will always offer you an escape. You can do it tomorrow. But tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow never comes. The only time you have is now, this moment, this breath. If you let it pass without action, you are voluntarily surrendering your power. Surround yourself with people who are moving forward. Your environment will either pull you down or push you higher. Be around those who think bigger, move faster, and expect more of themselves. Their energy will ignite your own. And above all, have faith in yourself. Not blind optimism, but the faith that if you take the next step, the path will reveal itself. You don't need to see the entire road. You just need to move forward with what you have. Where you are, right now, without purpose, you are like a ship without a rudder. Drifting, wandering, moving in circles, never arriving anywhere meaningful. Napoleon Hill taught that the starting point of all achievement is a definite chief aim. This is not just a wish, not just a vague desire, but a clear, precise, burning goal that directs all your thoughts, your actions, and your energy. When you wake up in the morning, you should know exactly why you are getting out of bed. Your purpose should be so strong that it pulls you forward, even when you feel tired, even when obstacles block your way. Without it, your motivation fades quickly. With it, every challenge becomes fuel for your determination. A definite purpose does more than give you direction. It gives you power. It sharpens your focus, eliminating distractions that waste your time. You stop saying yes to things that don't matter, because you understand where you are going. You no longer drift from one idea to another, because your mind is locked on a target. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack clarity. They try a little bit of everything and master nothing. They spend their energy chasing temporary pleasures instead of building something lasting. But the person with a definite purpose uses their time like a weapon. Every decision is filtered through the question, does this bring me closer to my goal? Your purpose must be so specific that you can measure your progress. It must be written down so you can see it every day, and it must be connected to something deeply meaningful to you, because only then will it survive the storms of life. A strong purpose will make you fearless. It will make you persistent. It will give you the strength to keep going when everything seems impossible, because when you know exactly where you are going, every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. And here's the truth. When you fix your mind on a definite goal with unshakable belief, the world begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Opportunities appear. The right people cross your path. Solutions come to you at the exact moment you need them. But none of this happens until you first decide, without hesitation, what you truly want. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will wait forever. There will always be something missing. A little more knowledge you think you need, a little more money, a little more confidence. But Napoleon Hill warned us, do not wait. The time will never be just right. The truth is, readiness is a myth. You don't become ready before you act. You become ready by acting. Think about the people who have achieved great things. They didn't start because they had everything figured out. They started because they refused to stand still. They stepped into the unknown, trusting that the road would reveal itself one step at a time. Perfectionism is just another name for procrastination. You tell yourself you're preparing, but in reality you're hiding. You're waiting for certainty in a world where certainty doesn't exist. Action is the cure for fear. Movement is the antidote to doubt. The moment you begin, the fear loses its grip on you. Every expert you see today was once a beginner who started before they were ready. They didn't have the skills, but they had the courage to begin. And that courage built the skills they needed. Every move you make teaches you something. Every mistake you make sharpens your ability. But none of that learning can happen if you stay in the safety of planning. The world rewards the door, not the dreamer. You can sit with a notebook full of brilliant ideas, but until you take the first step, those ideas are worthless. An imperfect start will always beat a perfect plan that never leaves your mind. Your first attempt will not be your best, and that's exactly why you must begin now. Because the sooner you start, the sooner you improve. Every delay pushes your dream further away. Every day you wait, someone else who started earlier is moving ahead. So stop asking, am I ready? Start asking, what's the next step I can take right now? The magic is not in waiting for the right conditions. The magic is in creating them as you move forward. And once you take that first imperfect step, momentum takes over. One step becomes two steps become 10, and before you know it, you've built a path that didn't exist before you had the courage to walk it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It is the quiet force that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Motivation will give you a push, but it fades. Discipline is what keeps you moving when the excitement is gone. Napoleon Hill said, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts." If you do not control your thoughts, you cannot control your needs. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about alignment. It's about making sure that your daily actions match your deepest desires. It's easy to say you want success, but the question is, will you do what success demands of you, even when you don't feel like it? Most people wait until they feel ready to work, but the ones who win understand that feelings are unreliable. They get up early even when they're tired. They practice their craft even when no one is watching. They make the call, write the page, take the step, because they've trained themselves to act, not just react. Every small act of discipline compounds over time. When you do the hard thing today, tomorrow becomes easier. But when you avoid discomfort, your tolerance for challenge becomes weaker. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The less you use it, the weaker you get. Discipline also protects you from distraction. The modern world is designed to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. Without discipline, you chase everything and catch nothing. With discipline, you know what to ignore and what to focus on. You say no more than you say yes, because you know exactly where your time is needed. There will be days when the work feels boring, repetitive, even meaningless. But discipline reminds you that greatness is not built in moments of excitement. It's built in the quiet, unglamorous hours when no one is cheering for you. That's when your character is forged. And here is the truth: discipline doesn't take away your freedom. It gives you freedom. Because when you have control over yourself, you are no longer controlled by laziness, distraction, or weakness. You decide what happens next. You set the pace. You choose the direction. The habit of discipline is not formed in one big decision. It's formed in hundreds of small decisions every day. To act according to your goals rather than your mood. And when you build this habit, you stop being a prisoner of how you feel. And you become the master of where you're going. Action is the only thing that turns thought into reality. You can think about your dreams, visualize them, write them down, talk about them, but none of it matters until you move. Napoleon Hill said, "Action is the real measure of intelligence." Not what you know, not what you plan, but what you actually do. The law of action is simple. Nothing happens until something moves. And the first thing that must move is you. The world will not hand you what you want because you wish for it. It will hand you what you demand through consistent effort. Most people get trapped in the comfort of preparation. They tell themselves they're waiting for the right time, the right strategy, the right resources. But waiting is not a strategy. Waiting is the slowest form of defeat. Action, even imperfect action, is infinitely more valuable than endless planning. When you act, you create a chain reaction. One step opens the door to the next. You meet people you would never have met if you stayed still. Opportunities appear that never would have shown up if you hadn't taken the first move. The universe responds to movement. It rewards the doer, not the dreamer. Action also kills fear. The longer you hesitate, the bigger your doubts grow. But the moment you start, fear begins to shrink. The mind can imagine 1,000 worst-case scenarios, but action forces you to face reality. And reality is rarely as bad as your fears made it seem. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Motivation is the result of action, not the cause of it. Once you start moving, momentum will carry you further than you expected. A small push becomes a steady pace, and a steady pace becomes unstoppable progress. And remember this, action is not a one-time event. It's a habit. It's a way of living. Every day you must move toward your goal even if the step is small. Because those small steps, multiplied over weeks, months, and years, will carry you further than one giant leap ever could. The law of action will not fail you if you live by it, but you must commit to it fully. You must decide, here and now, that you will be the kind of person who moves, who acts, who refuses to let another day pass without taking one more step toward the life you want. Persistence is the iron quality of success. It is the ability to keep moving forward when everything in you wants to quit. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. Talent will not replace it. Genius will not replace it. Luck will not replace it. The one who persists will always outlast the one who gives up." Daily persistence is not about working hard once in a while. It's about showing up every single day, no matter how you feel, no matter how slow the progress seems. Too many people fail because they quit too soon. They plant the seed, but they don't water it long enough to see it grow. Persistence is a test. Life will test your desire to see if you truly mean what you say. The obstacles, delays, and failures are not there to stop you. They are there to ask you a question. How badly do you want this? If your answer is weak, you will turn back. If your answer is strong, you will keep going. Every day you persist, you strengthen your resolve. You train your mind to push through resistance. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than the circumstances around you. The world is full of people who started strong and faded away. But the rare ones, the ones you remember, are those who kept going long after the excitement was gone. Persistence is also a compound force. A small amount of progress, repeated daily, becomes unstoppable momentum. You may not notice the change each day, but over time, those small victories build into something massive. One step doesn't feel like much, but 1,000 steps can take you anywhere. There will be days when persistence feels like walking through mud, when nothing seems to work, when the results are invisible. That is when persistence matters the most, because every step you take on those days is worth 10 steps on the easy days. It is in those moments that you separate yourself from the crowd. Daily persistence transforms you. It changes how you see yourself. You begin to trust your own word because you know you will not stop. And when you become that person, the one who never quits, you become unstoppable. The world will eventually have no choice but to yield to the one who refuses to give up. The people around you are either building your future or slowly destroying it. Every conversation you have, every interaction, every influence in your environment is shaping the way you think, the way you feel, and ultimately, the way you act. Napoleon Hill called it the mastermind principle, the power of surrounding yourself with minds that are in harmony with your purpose. You cannot spend your time with those who doubt, complain, and procrastinate and expect to become a person of action. Their habits will rub off on you. Their excuses will start to sound reasonable. Their lack of ambition will slowly dull your own drive. The human mind is like wet clay. It will take the shape of the hands that hold it. If you want to push yourself to take action every day, surround yourself with those who are already moving. Be around the builders, the doers, the risk takers. Their energy will infect you. Their discipline will challenge you. Their results will inspire you to raise your standards. This doesn't mean you must cut every old connection, but it does mean you must be intentional. Spend the majority of your time in environments where action is the norm, not the exception. Seek out people who talk about solutions, not problems. People who encourage your goals instead of doubting them. People who see possibilities where others see limitations. The right circle will not let you settle. They will hold you accountable. They will push you when you slow down, and they will celebrate with you when you achieve. And because they are moving forward themselves, they will pull you forward without even trying. Your environment is more powerful than your willpower. You can have the strongest intention in the world, but if you place yourself in a room full of hesitation, you will eventually slow down. Place yourself in a room full of momentum, and you will move whether you feel like it or not. Remember this: success is rarely achieved alone. Behind every great achievement is a network of influences, mentors, peers, and partners who kept the fire alive. The people you choose to walk with will either light your path or lead you into darkness. Choose wisely, because your environment is the soil in which your future will grow. Fear has stopped more dreams than failure ever will. It whispers in your ear, telling you to wait, to hide, to play it safe. It shows you everything that could go wrong, but never tells you what could go right. Napoleon Hill taught that faith is the only known antidote to fear. Not blind hope, but a deep, unshakable belief that you can and will achieve what you desire. Faith is a choice. It is deciding to move forward even when the path is unclear. It is trusting that if you take the next step, the next one will reveal itself. Most people wait for the feeling of certainty before they act. But certainty comes after action, not before it. The moment you step forward in faith, the world begins to rearrange itself to meet you. Fear lives in the mind. It grows in silence. The longer you think about what could go wrong, the more power you give it. But the instant you take action, fear loses its grip. You cannot be in motion and be paralyzed at the same time. Faith is built in motion. With every step you take, your belief grows stronger. Those who achieve greatness do not live without fear. They move in spite of it. They see fear as a signal that they are on the edge of growth. They know that behind every fear is a reward worth having. A new skill, a new opportunity, a new life. Faith transforms obstacles into challenges. Where fear sees a dead end, faith sees a detour. Where fear sees risk, faith sees possibility. Faith refuses to be a prisoner of what might go wrong, because it is too focused on what will go right if you stay committed. And here is the truth: your faith will be tested. There will be moments when the results seem invisible, when the delays feel endless, when doubt creeps into your mind. That is when you must remember faith is not believing when things are easy. Faith is holding the vision when everything around you says it's impossible. The more you act on faith, the less fear can control you. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" And you start asking, "What if I succeed?" You stop shrinking to fit the limits of your doubts and start expanding to match the size of your dreams. And when you live this way, moving forward every day, guided by faith instead of fear, you become unstoppable, because nothing in this world can hold back a mind that refuses to bow to fear. So here you are, standing at the edge of your own potential. You've heard the principles, you know the path, but knowing is not enough. You must do. You must rise tomorrow, and the day after, and every day after that, with a mind fixed on purpose, a heart anchored in faith, and hands committed to action. The clock is ticking, and your life is happening now. There will never be a perfect moment. There will only be this moment. And in this moment, you have a choice to remain as you are, or to push yourself beyond every excuse, every fear, every limitation you've ever accepted. Your future will not be built by accident. It will be built by your decisions, your discipline, your persistence. So step forward. Step with courage. Step with certainty. Step with the belief that the life you imagine is not just possible, but waiting for you to claim it. Because in the end, the world does not remember what you intended to do. It remembers what you did. And starting today, you will be remembered as the one who decided, who acted, and who never stopped until the dream became reality.